Hello, everybody. I am Miles. I am the U-inverse. Today, I wanted to talk about gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being deeply thankful for something, whether that's a thing, a situation, a person, and otherwise. We appreciate and we enjoy the thing that's there. We enjoy it. That is gratitude. Okay. We tend to, in our lives, feel grateful towards things that are good. So, good things, new shoes, a nice tasty meal, things like that. Anything that will satisfy our outward search for happiness. When something externally fulfills our desire for happiness, we feel grateful towards it. But also, we tend to take a lot of things for granted, in the sense that we feel like this level of comfort, this level of goodness is a requirement for my happiness. So I operate at this level, and therefore everything that is sustaining me to this level, I take, that's a given. I don't need to feel grateful for this stuff because this is how I operate. This stuff that's holding me up is there. It's always going to be there. So I don't need to be grateful for it. And not that that's a mindset we actively choose, but I think, and I am definitely, I fall victim to this as well, taking things for granted. But it's not necessarily our fault. We tend to live our lives chasing pleasure and seeking happiness outside of ourselves. So the things that are within or that we already have, they've given that happiness. We've had that happiness from it, whether that's new shoes or whatever. The high that we got when we first got that thing has worn off. So now we need to find a new thing that's going to make us happy. That's how we end up taking things for granted as well, is that we don't tend to appreciate the things that we already have. When we do take things for granted, we lose sight of the awesome things that we already have. The fact that we have so much already doesn't satisfy us, and we keep chasing for more and more things that we think are going to make us happy. It's a kind of disrespect, to not be grateful for things is a disrespect to yourself. If we imagine then that when we take things for granted, we tend to probably be less happy because the things that we do have, we don't care about. We want new things, we want new situations, we want new people. The things that we did have no longer serve us, and we're just like, nah. But that attitude of nah is what keeps us stuck to unhappiness. A practice that you can do to increase your level of happiness is to increase the amount you practice gratitude. I have a friend, a very successful friend. He has his own business, he's doing very well. But if you were to visit him or, see him, see the way he dresses, see the way he acts, he lives by very limited means. He doesn't have a lot of things materially. He could probably, where he lives, take his world on his back, pretty much, or in a suitcase, and he'd be gone. He could go somewhere else, He has such limited material things, and yet because he practices gratitude all the time. Everything that he's grateful for, he writes it down, and he practices it, and he says it, and he repeats it, and he's always thinking about things he's grateful for. When you speak to him, he's one of the happiest people that I know. He's a sound guy. He really is. And I feel like, although materially he maybe has less than us, but health and happiness, he's overflowing with happiness. He's learned to live life with the bare minimum. And yet everything that he has, he cares for so intently that he doesn't need the other crazy expensive things. He doesn't need the new shiny thing, because what he's got he loves. He doesn't need anymore. So what I'm trying to say is that by practicing gratitude, and practicing, I mean like getting better at it, like practice makes perfect. The more things you can think of to be grateful for, the easier gratitude becomes. It's strange as well, because the more things we're grateful for, the more we practice gratitude, the more things we are grateful for come into our lives. So more opportunities of happiness come into our lives, different things we can be happy for, because we're in the mindset of being happy for everything. The mindset behind gratitude is to be thankful for. You've received something, or the way that you feel, or whatever it is, you enjoy it, you appreciate it, you thank it. When someone gives you something and you say thank you, you don't feel ill intent, do you? You don't think that, you don't say thank you. You shouldn't. If someone's given you something, you say thank you, and there's no ill intent, there's no negativity. You can only feel good about something if you're truly grateful for it. With this in mind, you can apply gratitude to not just the good things in your life, but the worst things, the most painful things in your life can be transformed into positives through practicing gratitude. If we can learn to understand that every moment in life, whether good or bad, is an opportunity to practice gratitude, then we can start to overcome suffering. If you imagine that every cloud has a silver lining, that old saying, every cloud has a silver lining. If we spend every day avoiding the cloud, avoiding a negative situation, avoiding the rain. Okay, let's say rain is pain. We see a cloud, we avoid it. We put our coats on, we hold an umbrella, or we don't even go outside. With this mindset, when we avoid the rain, we avoid 50% of our lives. Probably about 50% of our lives is suffering and 50% is maybe good. Yeah. That means that when it's raining, that means when you're having a bad day, that means when suffering is occurring, you can't do anything. That means you have to sit and suffer. In this sense, then, we are letting suffering dictate our lives. If we can learn to be grateful for the hard times, for the rain, for the cloud, we can learn to be happy in the face of any circumstance. We can learn that we can still have the best life possible, even when it's raining. By practicing gratitude, we can start to take back control over the negative areas of our lives. This is a difficult concept to grasp. If we just recap, gratitude is feeling positively towards something. It's almost love. Gratitude is almost like a form of love. When we love something, when we're grateful for something, we can only feel positively about it. In our day-to-day lives, if we take things for granted, we're probably more likely to feel sad because we don't realise the abundance that we already have, even within ourselves. When we learn to practice gratitude, it makes everything that we have and what we own that much sweeter. We can learn to live with less and be happier. We can also learn through gratitude. True happiness comes from within. It's not from a new iPhone. It's not from some new makeup. It's from here. But also, if we learn to treat our suffering, our pain, the cloud, with gratitude, we can also learn to transform negative and suffering into positive. This is maybe where some confusion is, because it's a bit controversial to say you should be grateful for your suffering. But if we practice being grateful for the little things in our life, the things that we can be really easily grateful for, we build on our gratitude, so the gratitude in our hearts gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, so that everything that's good in our lives we can be grateful for. We can start to push the boat out into the negatives. How do we do this? Well, if we start to begin to learn that suffering or hardships or pain aren't necessarily the enemy, maybe it's our attitude towards it that can change to make it less painful. We can start to learn that every cloud has a silver lining. Every hardship was a test. Every heartache was a lesson. Every migraine taught us how to relax. Every toothache taught us to brush our teeth. Every achy muscle taught us we need to exercise more. Every bad thing reminds us how to be good, how to feel better. When we learn to accept suffering as our friend and something to be grateful for and something to learn from, we can move past blockages in our lives with ease. And even in the face of the worst possible thing ever happening in your life, no matter what, no matter how you try to twist it and justify it in your mind, you just can't find the silver lining. You know why you can still be grateful for it. Because without bad, there can't be good. Without dark, there is no light. And without sadness, there is no happiness. I'm telling you this stuff because practicing gratitude for everything, every single thing, everything in your life, whatever it is, even if it's the worst thing, the worst pain, the worst person in your life, the biggest enemy, whatever it is, from the best thing in your life, your favorite book, yeah, great gratitude across the entire spectrum, because it will set you free. It will set you free. I just want you to know that I practice the things that I talk to you about. And I'm not saying these things from a high and mighty perspective. I'm saying these things because the things that I do and the things that I talk about and practice make me feel better. And I really hope that by sharing, not even really my wisdom, but millions of people's wisdom from thousands of years up to this moment, they practice this stuff and it makes them feel better. And they would agree with what I'm saying. Gratitude will help you to feel less stress. It will help you to feel less pain. It will help you to feel less sad. It just starts with writing things down that you can be grateful for and just pushing it a little bit. Push your gratitude out a little bit each time to incorporate the worst things. One day, not right now, but one day you can incorporate the most pain you've ever felt in your life and you can still be grateful for it. I hope this helps. I hope you enjoyed. If you have, give us a like, subscribe, comment, share, do what you gotta do. And yeah, I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Namaste.